because we are in episode 6 of 8, the show's actually allowed to start now. We've actually got some things moving along. We've finally introduced a mystery I care about, and the show's going.
The second you said it, I'm like, oh yeah, we do say that about every single show, is that every season is like 5 episodes of world building to get to like the actual story happens in the last like 3.
Procrastination. They're like, they have 8 episodes to fill out, but the writers are like, shit, I've got about 3 episodes. Oh, I guess episode 1 normally starts off pretty well. So like maybe we got 4 episodes per season of good stuff. You get 1 good one, 3 fill, and then bam, bam, bam. Because this does feel like we finally are getting moving. We are still all over the place as far as characters goes. Everyone has to have a scene. Like, I don't give a flying fuck about the inbreeding community or their snack budget.
Even the Vault 32 stuff,
yes.
I don't care about.
Although it did make me laugh. The Vault 32 stuff, I don't care about, but the fact that old mate doesn't know that he's engaged now and everyone else is engaged, and we're wondering what they were setting up for, like why are they doing arbors and everything?
Yeah.
And then, he's like, what? So that was a very fun reveal, and I found myself caring more about that than anything previous. But we do still have the hanging mystery that he now knows that his wife is Canadian and 200 years old. But like, what does that change? Like, what the snack budget, the fact that it took her 5 episodes to finally confront him and bring a SWAT team about his snack budget. Delete all of that from the episode, and this would be my favorite episode so far.
Really?
Well, we get a super mutant, which is cool. We get Ron Perlman in worse CGI.
Yep, in drag.
Well, do you actually think it's going to be the one dressed as a woman?
No.
Because that would be hilarious. Because he's wearing a robe, so he takes off the robe and like long golden hair.
No, I think it's just easier because they don't have to do anything with the body. If they just have like
it's just
a wire frame with like garbage bags around it.
Yeah, honestly, paint Ron Perlman green.
Reverse Hellboy him. Put the negative filter on him.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to reverse Hellboy here, and then I'm going to show World of Warcraft 2015.
That movie came out 10 years ago, and the orcs are looking better than the 1 second. They couldn't do 1 frame of good animation / rendering.
And I wonder if you could get that budget back from removing Vault 33, 32. No Buds though. Isn't that kind of insane that we had literally everyone else but no Buds?
I reckon Lucy's going to bump into him. That's going to be the next time we see them.
He's going to be like, hey, forced evolutionary virus is a thing. And she'll be like, what the fuck does that mean? And then like the finale, because we've got 2 episodes left. We've got 7 and 8. So like, we have to wrap this whole thing up in 2 hours. And I would say there's not much to wrap up, but also we finally have stuff. We'll go through the episode a little bit more linearly, as linear as you can be when you get 2 minutes with one character, move on to the next one. But Cooper is a standout again.
Obviously. I saw a lot of memes being like, I wonder if Walton Goggins' back hurts from carrying the entire Fallout show, which is, I believe it. You know, Lucy is fun and the dad character is good. Like, he's just a great actor in like that role.
This episode, yeah.
Yeah, especially this episode because he gets like a lot of screen time.
I don't know if I'd say he's carrying the show, but the show definitely realizes what they have and they're like, we need more Goggins because we get him in the future and the past again.
Yeah.
Every episode, he's kind of been the only consistent thing as far as like, what are we doing this episode? We're finding a little bit out about the past with Cooper. Like, that's what we do in every episode. The rest of it feels like noise.
It's interesting, and we touched on it last week, is Goggins is the main character, but we're not following him, we're following Lucy, really, because she's our insert. So it's weird that there's like a story going through and then we're kind of like watching it from the side and just being filled in on a lot of the gaps. As much as Coop is the main character, we don't spend enough time with him. You know, he's really just like a side character to whatever the story is going.
Yeah, we're using him to learn lore. We're not in his actual headspace. Because like, I mean, we got the whole like him being drunk and disorderly last episode, but I never really feel like I'm busy empathizing with Cooper or what he's doing.
That's left for Lucy.
Yeah. Whereas this episode actually tried to do something because we were like glued to the screen suddenly because he had to drag himself off the thing. He had a goal. And he's like, I have a daughter. I'm like, oh, like we're doing it. And then like the crushing, him falling all the way back down. I was like, mwah, fantastic. But I did know that they were going to Deus Ex him magically. So Cooper's actually having something to do this episode. But all we actually really learn about past Cooper is that he kidnapped Lucy's dad and finds out from his wife that he had cold fusion in his neck, which is something that happens in the future. And we see the Enclave scientist from season 1 is actually behind the scenes.
He's pulling the strings at Vault-Tec.
Yeah, so it's like, who's really in charge of Vault-Tec? Which seems like a crazy mystery.
That's the name of the episode, right? It's like the other player. Is he the other player?
Yes, I guess the Enclave or whatever the Enclave was called. Maybe both. It's one of those. It's for both of them. Mm-hmm. But basically the Enclave or pre-Enclave, whatever they were called back in the day, law people, please tell me, they're pulling the strings, which is a good thing because one of my complaints was kind of that Fallout wasn't meant to be so much like a capitalist caused the war kind of thing. It was literally war never changes. Like that's the thing. They even say it in the show, but they were like, capitalism's so bad they're willing to bomb themselves for capitalism. And I'm like, that doesn't really make any sense. But it did for Robert House because he's like, I want my own I'm a prepper.
But also he wanted his own place that was unaffected by the bombs dropping. Yeah. That's what New Vegas was. He had his own defense system.
Yeah.
Nothing hit Vegas. Vegas was preserved.
So I guess he also didn't need the war to happen. He just wanted his own little sovereign nation either way. Mm-hmm. But the Enclave for some reason wanted to cause the war. And I'm glad we're doing that. It is just weird that we're doing it considering all of season 1 and 5 episodes of season 2. They were like, hey, capitalism did it. And they really went in on that. They were like, capitalism did it. This episode, we get some commentary. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of politics. Both of them kind of revolving around, this is America, we're a capitalist nation. We put the rich first.
Well, there was the inbreeding community. It's like, we're only here because our parents were selfish and put themselves first.
Yeah. And he uses that as an own.
But then it's like, what happens when there isn't a lower class of society and it's all people who were the upper class? Then you're no longer an upper class, you're all the same class.
Yeah.
Nothing puts you above anyone else.
I do like that felt like this episode had more to say. The other like commentary I think that kind of worked was Lucy actually had a moral choice to make this episode. We had been talking about how she's just doing nothing every episode. She's not changed by the wasteland. She's still like okie dokie the whole time. But this episode, she actually was faced with the whole 2 buttons of like, yes, let guy get stabbed, fix problem. The big moral choice with Lucy, where there's people killing each other, and she can either save them, she can subscribe to Bergenbeard and save both of them, or she can not subscribe, and everyone dies.
Oh my God.
I personally, I'd subscribe. It is actually an interesting thought. There's another show out that I'll talk about at some point that kind of does the same thing of like, is peace worth it? Like, what will you do for peace? Like, is individuality worth all the war that keeps getting caused because people always have conflicts? If you take away the conflict, but you also take away what makes people, is that a good trade-off? Is it, like, what will you do for peace?
Are you talking about Pluribus?
No? Shut the hell up. You haven't seen it yet. Watch it. God, I'm going to talk about Pluribus so many times when you watch it. But this conversation between them is good. And also, we actually get to watch Kyle MacLachlan act, and he's not just like sitting there going, hee and exploding heads. Like, he can have a moral debate.
And we get to see him with anti-aging filter on.
Yay. That's the thing. Him and Cooper are both like in the show the most and kind of doing the least.
Yeah. But Walton Goggins is like, has looked the same for like 50 years.
Yes.
Because he has that same receding hairline. So he's looked old for a very long time.
I love Kyle MacLachlan as a bad dad. In Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., he was a bad dad. And like, he was insane in that, and I guess he kind of is in this as well. So maybe he's typecast, but he's damn good at it. I'm on board for that. So whenever he gets to actually act across from humans and not just like explode mice, I'm much more happy. Basically, Lucy does her moral decision and she chooses, at least this time, that peace is worth it to at least save random NCR guy we saw for 2 seconds.
Well, I think like Lucy's in this like weird position where she wants peace, but she's not able to bring about peace. I can't do this. I need help. The help is wrong.
Yes.
But it solves the problem. So really, I'm achieving my goal, even though it's through bad means for a good cause. Like this very circular.
Yeah, it's like bad because like, I guess she was raised by her dad, so you'd think she has like that set moral, but she has a very strong moral code. But it really would have been more effective for me if season 1 changed her and she was different this season rather than us getting the reset Lucy at the start of this season being like, okie dokie, I'm going to find my dad and not kill people. And then last episode, she killed the guy and was like, who am I? That doesn't really fit with this, in my opinion. I guess if he was hive-minded, then he wouldn't have actually tried to shoot her and she wouldn't have had to kill him. But that feels a little bit roundabouty and like unrelated. It really would have been better if this happened way earlier.
I think the stakes should have been higher
than just an NCR guy we don't care about.
Yeah, like this, or at least like we didn't care about anyone in this scene other than like the dad and Lucy, really.
And also, why couldn't she kill him? We've seen her kill a lot, or like we've seen her destroy people.
But like the Legion guy should have been going and like beheading these slave people, but because they're all chipped out, they're not really panicking.
And also, they're literally a mob. We have so many of them. You could have killed the 3 that they introduced us to. And I would have been like, oh no, like it's actually she's seeing death and she's trying to avoid it. But the whole season, she's been maiming people and then the ghoul has been killing them. And the ghoul has been kind of making fun of her for that. Mm-hmm. So this, like, it's not that she hasn't seen death. It really is that this one NCR guy, we were supposed to give more of a shit about, but I didn't.
Yeah, no.
Maybe if the dad was at risk and then she would have to choose between, like, the life of her dad and the chip.
Yeah.
I agree with you. There should have been something more there. Mm-hmm. But then we get this shit.
Oh, God. The Maximus plot is... I mean, it's tied for last with the inbreeding club.
You like Buds more than Maximus?
I mean, at least for this episode.
Okay.
Don't worry. When Buds shows up, it goes straight to the bottom, along with those other two. But Maximus really doesn't do anything.
No.
We get a bit of like chatting between him and Paddy Pimblebert, whatever this guy's name is. We get a bit of like backstory between him and Thaddeus, being like, where were you born? I was born in the boneyard. Well, I'm from Shady Sands. You know, I know that good people exist out there. What should we do with the cold fishing? Should we sell it? No, we need to give it to like the right people. But who's the right people?
Well, that's the other commentary that I did like, but again, it felt weirdly out of place for such a goofy show. Mm-hmm. As in, again, people are like, well, it's always been goofy. But if this happened 3 or 4 episodes ago, I'd be like, this is the tone I want. He's like, oh, I know nice people. And he's like, I would be nice if I grew up rich.
Very
and
true.
It's that commentary on the capitalism.
Yeah.
Being like, yes, it's easy to be a good person when you're rich. Mm-hmm. But also, apparently, it's very easy to be an awful person when you're rich. There's my little commentary for the day. Please give me money so I can be corrupted. Join our membership, Steve.
Oh my God.
I want to become a capitalist.
You guys are helping him fund his evil science projects. How do you feel about them getting a total of maybe like a minute and a half of like scene time?
That's the thing.
They get walking away from the fallout.
Ditching the armor.
And then them setting up a camp and just like swapping a story and then, spoiler alert, them finding the ghoul at the end.
Yes.
So it's
because
like
dog meat comes along.
They get...
Dog meat ex machina.
Okay, all right. 2 minutes. They get 2 minutes in this...
So generous. Maximus had cold fusion at the very end of last season, and he had it in his hand. So then we had to do 5 episodes where he goes, oh, I'll give it to the Brotherhood. Oh, the Brotherhood is shitty, I'll take it back. And then he runs away. So that took us 5 episodes where he got 2 minutes per episode of him talking to his friend and then Thaddeus. That's called procrastination and wasting my goddamn time.
They could have put it all in one episode.
Easily. And all this episode did with him was he remembered Lucy exists. I think it's the first time he's mentioned Lucy.
Yeah.
Actually, second, because Mustache Friend said, but you liked that girl out in the wasteland. And it's like, they've tried to show him existing outside of Lucy and it hasn't been interesting at all. Mm-hmm. It's like, it was just a weird frat bro thing with the Brotherhood of Steel, where the Brotherhood of Steel are having fisticuffs. Like 2 people are like, I don't like you. Mm-hmm. I don't like you neither. And then they fight like they're wastelanders.
Also like to the death as well.
Yeah.
Maximus also kills a dude and everyone's like, all right.
They're like, damn, man. And then he went on a murder rampage on ghouls and stuff. He's done some shit that like seems weird and pointless. But then this episode, he finally meets up with the ghoul. I'm glad he's with the ghoul because we might get like an interesting dynamic change between the cast, because we've only seen the ghoul either by himself in the past or with Lucy, where he goes, dang, and then he kills something. Yeah. Whereas at least now he's with someone he hates.
They're going to be like killing shit and they're going to find themselves on the same wavelength because they're both morally good.
Yeah. We didn't have a big shootout this episode. We had the fisticuffs, but every other episode there's been random like dismemberment and gore to like be like, please keep watching. We have set pieces like the King's fight. Like the King's fight was completely pointless apart from the fact that like, hey, the Kings, and then gruesome.
Is this our flashback episode? When all of them contain a flashback, that's not what I mean. I mean like with Alien Earth, it was like a couple episodes in, then they have the flashback episode. More exposition, less action.
Yeah, it should be. But I guess I liked this one more because they actually did something. Like it really does feel like they're finished with the procrastination. They're going to do something now. But then again, like I said, we have the inbreeding club here for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
Whoa, it's so boring.
The inbreeding club's still going on. The overseer comes in with the Gestapo, essentially. And she's like, no, I'm finally shutting you guys down. And then the main guy, whose name I don't care enough to commit to memory, is like, no, we're the children of capitalists and people who had power and seized it.
And I play the piano in my mind because we need to keep the dances of San Francisco where
the one part I liked, and no, it's not the dance number, It was the part where there was a line at the door. It's like, I'm sorry, sleeping with your third cousin doesn't count as like, enough to get in the club. And the next people come and it's like that brother and sister and they're like, they just walk straight in. That part was good.
Weird addition though, that someone in the writing team is like, I want to watch two gingers almost kiss.
Yes.
It's the one ginger in the writing room being like, what if he fucked his sister? And everyone's like, really?
It's like Quentin Tarantino casting himself in a movie where he drinks tequila off Salma Hayek's toes while he's sucking him.
And says the N-word.
This guy is a director, like a producer, and he's like, I'll be the ginger guy. I'm redhead. But also, I feel like Overseer Lady should be more cutthroat because she's the industry plan.
She's the middle management, yeah.
Yes.
And she was retired because the other guy took over until he left. And then so she's like thrust back into it.
She has to keep all these people alive. There's no like secret water and this is just a test. No, they're actually going to die.
Yeah.
You'd think she'd be a bit more cutthroat about it. Where she's like, you haven't been reading my messages. And even in the last episode where he's filling up the pails and she's like, you shouldn't be doing that. And he's like, no, this shouldn't have been a problem.
And the scene ends with it being unresolved because it ends with him being like, we're not giving in.
He's getting like power from the people.
Yeah. So like,
and she kind of gets cucked. She's like,
So that means this is going to continue. She's there with the Gestapo, but she does nothing. Like she really does lose to him eating jelly and going, I'm a capitalist, baby. I'm a Nepo baby. Fuck you.
Even though they all are, and she's like kind of more so.
Yeah. And then the scene just ends.
Can't wait for more of that.
Our final 2 episodes are going to be like, we're going to be cutting from like the super mutant saying the war is coming.
Yes.
I did love him putting the uranium in him and like healing him up. That's kind of cool. Apart from that, there's nothing really to say there.
No, other than there's a little lore drop. Something's brewing. The super mutant, he's like me and you, like people like us, ghouls and super mutants, we're on the same side. We were fucked over by them. There's a war coming. I'm going to need your help. And then the ghoul's like, nah, I'm just looking for my family. And the super mutant's like, fine. Saves his life in a very cool scene and then just like bonks him on the head and dumps him somewhere.
Yeah, weird season 3 bait, I guess.
Yes.
Because there's no way in the next 2 episodes we're doing anything that can surmount to needing a super mutant. Where's it going? Where's this show going?
Unless they introduce, even though he shouldn't exist, I think, because he's dead in Fallout 1 or 2, they introduced the Master, who is like a super mutant who evolved into technology, and he's like a amalgamation thing.
I get where Lucy might go. Like, I think Lucy can do some interesting stuff. Whereas the boys are now like, let's go get Lucy. Well, he's going to be like, let's go get Lucy. And the other guy's going to be like, let's go get my family. Oh, they're conveniently in the same place. We have to break into the vault.
Is season 3 going to be the 3 of them, the 3 main characters, and Thaddeus, I guess, going to save the Ghoul's family / shut down Vault Tech?
Yeah, I don't see it, which I guess can be a good thing because they can surprise me.
Who's going to get the cold fusion?
Well, he's going to give it to Lucy.
Who's it going to? Because like the people don't exist anymore. Like Shady Sands, they don't exist anymore.
The dad, I guess, could use it to maybe do a super evil thing.
Are the NCR like the good people in this show?
There's only like 5 NCR in the whole world.
I don't know. I saw a lot of people like, no, they said that's a branch. They're a branch of the NCR and they're scattered.
Oh, there's tons of us. We're just not here right now.
If they do exist, then they haven't bothered to set them up.
Very true.
But also, the weird thing about Cold Fusion and me caring about Cold Fusion is the Brotherhood of Steel had it. They did nothing with it. They didn't defend it. They didn't have people watching it. They didn't use it to fire a big laser out of a giant mech. They did nothing with it. Like, they maybe used it to blow sand off Area 51 and then they argued for a while.
No, because they got that little...
Oh, they used a fusion core for that. Yeah.
Just like a thing.
What the fuck? They plugged it in and then did nothing with it.
Unless it's just always going to end up in Mr. House's hands.
And yeah, I guess he doesn't have it, so he'll finally get it. So, okay, that's the finale then.
But what does he need it for?
Well, evil experiments. I don't know.
His army of big robots, I guess?
True. It's the platinum chip. So that'll be the big finale. It's the 2 boys go to get Lucy / the family. Turns out Lucy's there with the family and dad. They all bump into Robert House somehow. And then Robert House is like, haha, you've all fallen into my evil plan. Give me cold fusion. I'm going to do a thing. And then they all have to stop him.
I reckon we'll see a Deathclaw again.
I fucking hope so, because they put so much work into being like, look, Deathclaws. If Deathclaws don't factor in, Deathclaws are protecting Robert House's area. So next episode, the boys will have to get past the Deathclaws.
God.
So I can... Maybe. I could be wrong. But what are you guys looking forward to in this show? Is there anything specific that's exciting you? Because what I've just said. I'm like, it's not thrilling me.
I'm not watching this show again.
As in like a rewatch?
No, not a chance.
That's
not a
what you mean,
chance.
yeah.
I will look at cool things about the show.
Like watch video essays?
Like watch a video essay
I'd
on
watch
it.
a YouTube video by a certain YouTuber.
Maybe watch like a video being like, isn't this cool? Like all the cool like Easter eggs and stuff. Maybe I'll go back.
Easter eggs.
53 Easter eggs. Like I might watch that in 2 years down the line and be like, maybe that was a good show.
You did it this episode again. The member berries are getting you.
Very true. I didn't even know what I remembered this episode.
It was the pony.
I went, giddy up Buttercup. That's the horse's name.
And he had sugar bombs there. It's like they're doing it, but yeah.
I wonder if that book has any relevance to something.
I think it might have actually been what they were talking about. So I guess if you get deep with the episode and you bother to read books, I'm here to play video games and talk about TV shows.
Sorry, I play video games.
Anyway, thank you very much.